SQLite is the most widely used database in the world. There's a copy of it running in most every web browser. The Python language comes with SQLite as a free and very useful throw-in. But there are times when you want to work directly with SQLite databases for maintenance, debugging, or out of simple curiosity, and you'd rather do that by way of a GUI instead of a library for some language. Today, I'm going to share 3 of the tools that I've used for working directly with SQLite databases. My experiences with them have been mainly on Microsoft Windows, but they're broadly cross-platform, so there ought to be something here for everyone. First is a native desktop application called DB Browser for SQLite, and it's available at SQLitebrowser.org. It's open source and pretty liberally licensed, and it uses native UI widgets wherever possible. And with it, you could browse the structure of an open database and interactively modify tables. This auto-generates SQL for the new table definition. You can also alter other table attributes like foreign keys and check constraints. I should note that any of these changes are going to be constrained by what SQLite itself supports on the back end. You can also interactively browse and edit data and view the data in a variety of formats. This is very handy if you have blob or JSON fields. You can also, of course, run interactive SQL commands against the database and get the results in the same grid format as your data browser. And you can directly edit and view many of the common pragmas for your database. I particularly like this feature because these things can often get a little buried. So this app is best if you want something that's an actual desktop application. On Windows, it's available in a portable no-install incarnation, so you can throw it on a thumb drive and take it with you. Next up, we have extensions for Visual Studio Code that can inspect and modify SQLite databases. I've looked at a few of these, but the most featureful one I found is titled SQLite 3 Editor. And once it's installed, you can simply open an SQLite file by just opening it in VS Code, and then you get a very powerful, albeit very complicated, interactive view of your data. There's a lot here to like, though. I really like this table diagram that pops up when you select a table to browse, and it shows you the relationships between tables. And you can also bring up a very detailed schema view for the tables. The visuals here do get a little cluttered, but you can get an idea of what everything can do by simply mousing around. For instance, this grid here next to the indexes for a table, this shows the column coverage for each index for a given table. This is a great visualization tool because the column coverage is another one of those things that can often get ignored or forgotten about. It also has here in other tools for importing and exporting in multiple formats. This add-on is by far my favorite way to examine SQLite data inside VS Code when I'm working on a database-backed program in the editor. This means I don't have to shift to another application. Finally, we have a wholly web-based app called Outerbase Studio. It runs entirely in the browser, so there's nothing to install. You just need an internet connection. You can launch an empty in-memory SQLite database or open an existing one on disk. It's got a very clean, simple interface, so browsing existing data and making changes to data or schemas is nice and straightforward. There aren't that many advanced touches, so don't expect a full workbench-like experience, but there's a few little things in it I really like. For instance, you could take a numeric column and format it as a Unix timestamp, which is really handy when you don't want to decipher that stuff manually. And there's also a very nice graphical entity relationship diagram tool. One thing I wish it had was a higher level view of the database's pragmas, like the auto vacuum settings, but what we have here is really good for basic work. So to sum up, Outerbase Studio is best for just having a quick way to pry open an SQLite database and inspect the contents without having to install anything. SQLite 3 Editor is great if you're making VS Code into an all-purpose work environment, including databases. And DB Browser for SQLite is what you want for something to install and use as a formal desktop app, although it also comes in a no-install portable version. And that's it for this episode. If you liked it, leave a comment below. And don't forget to follow Dev with Serdar and InfoWorld on Facebook, YouTube, and InfoWorld.com.